You're listening to Africa's #1 lifestyle online radio.
Beautiful day, City of Lagos. You're listening to the Spotlight Show, reaching you from the studios of Panache FM. It's Monday. For me, Monday is like money day for me, okay? So how was your weekend? I hope that your weekend was not eventful. Even if it was eventful, I hope it was a fun-filled one. My name is Rhoda Inadro Josh Chenami Rio, aka Your Talking Machine. And guess what? This man here with me in the studio today is somebody that I have been, going after for a while. Like I've been chasing, like, hey, I had to beg him. I had to tell him that I'm going to pay for your flight. Just fly down to Lagos, okay? I begged him. I was on, and finally, we have him here with us in the studio. It's such a great pleasure having him in the studio. So before we hear his sweet voice, my friend saw the picture. My friend was like, oh my God, who is this fine man? And I was like, Boya, you should look away.
Boya is not free.
Yeah, Boya, no, Boya, you should look away, okay? Because, man, don't let me say what I'm about to say. I'd rather say that.
I started working with African, Mnet.
Whoa.
In 2015,
wow.
I produced a TV show with a friend of mine. He hired me, Ike Osakiodua, so I produced that TV show, Highlights with Ike, and then I went on to executive produce Head Over Heels in 2015, and then in 2018 I did Ajoche, which was an 260 episode show, and then Unbroken, and then Rihanna, which finished sometime this year.
Yeah. That's a lot. That's like a lot, man. Ladies and gentlemen, join me officially as we bring on here the one and only James Omokwe. Where is my clap? I'm still looking for it. The Jellybo, I'm going to sack you because of this.
Let me give you the clap.
Yeah, that's it. I'm so sorry, the clap was meant to come in, but the Jelimo is not collecting this month's salary. Wow, many thanks for joining us on the Spotlight Show. Like I said, it wasn't easy getting you.
I'm sorry that I'm sorry. That's all I can say.
He's going to pay a fine.
It's like I have so much to do, and every time I kept saying, don't worry, I'll do it. But today I was like, you know what? Yeah, I'm coming.
I have to come. I have to come. And you're true to your words. Actually, I love that about you. So, from me this morning, it's going to be a very smooth ride. I'm going to really get inspired, like I'm preparing my mind. So, if I were you, just clear off your mind and make sure you're ready to learn from him, because it takes a lot to be where he is at the moment, which means he has a lot to share with us about his journey. So to start with, let's talk about your background. All right, I was meant to read that one, but I had to just break it. So tell us, where you're from. You were born in the UK, but are you like from my state? Let me start fancying.
Please, we should leave that UK right. I was born there. I stayed there. I was like 3 when I left, but it's all good. I'm from Abia State. I'm an Igbo boy.
You don't look it.
I know everybody says that. I was like, you look like you're Yoruba.
Yeah.
I'm Nigerian anyway, but I'm from Abia State. Both my parents are from Abia State. My dad's compound is so far from my mom's compound. So,
whoa, I like that.
I think, in fact, out of my family, it's me and my uncle that married outside of our village. So my uncle married a Yoruba one, I married a Delta.
And that's like the same.
Delta Igbo.
That's like Igbo too. You're still going on with the circle.
So that's where I'm from. I lived in the UK. We came back to Lagos. I've lived in Lagos practically all my life.
Wow.
And that's pretty much it. That's
Very, very amazing. So, how is living in Lagos? You asked me that question, so I should ask you, how is living in Lagos for you?
That's like I'm asking you today. I don't know. Living in Lagos is Lagos. Like, to be honest, you see, sometimes when I live after, on the other side of 10 Million Bridge. That's the island. And I used to, so here's the thing, because it's to spark this island. So I lived in Festac for a long time. I just moved to the island, maybe a year before I got married, so that's 2012.
Wow.
So 2012, yeah. So I've been here on this side of town for about 10 years.
Wow.
And every time I drive back, so either when I go to see either my wife's folks or, I'm going to see some of my old friends that I'm with, and I'm driving, I'm like, where am I? And when I say where am I, it's the the craziness of like people, as in the way people. Sometimes I'm afraid. I'm like, why is this person driving like this? I'm not saying that they don't drive like that on this side, because let me tell you, these people on this Lekki Express Road is like they are drinking something. I don't know what it is. However, like I feel like here everything is much on this side of town. Everything is much saner because the estates,
Yeah, everyone is
all these butter kids moving up and down.
Yeah.
Nobody has time to be shouting. But in that place, like this, once you all move left, come on, no man. I'm like, guy, it's not that deep.
It's not that deep.
But Lagos in general, I feel like if you live in Lagos, you can live anywhere.
You can live anywhere.
Like recently, I swear, like recently I went to Ghana. And everybody's so chill in Ghana. Like, it's super chill.
See this Ghanaian boy, he's there to start sweating.
Are you Ghanaian? Like, everybody's so chill in Ghana. Like, he used to do me. I'm like, rush now. Everybody, no, Charlie. I took my time. Like, let me tell you one funny story. I put it on I'm sorry. So, the hotel I stayed in, I've met this guy who, he sold this to me.
Wow.
So when I was walking down the beach, so the guy came to meet me. He's like, "Oh, Charlie, I want to sell you this thing. My name is Hope." I'm like, "Oh, nice name." He was like, "Oh, that I should buy it, Charlie." I said, "No, I don't have money with me now. That I don't want to buy it." He was like, "No, Charlie, I'm serious. Just buy it." I said, "Okay, I don't have money in my pocket. Like if I have to buy it, I have to go to the hotel room." The guy gave me the chain.
Whoa.
He said, "Charlie, take it. Don't worry. I trust you. You
wow.
bring it back." I said, "This guy's not come to Lagos."
Come to Lagos.
Hey. So everybody's really chill. I love the energy.
Wow.
But Lagos is a madhouse.
Lagos. You try that. Try that. You're in for it, man. Wow, very interesting. I'm having fun already. Okay, so now let's talk about what you were thinking of becoming. Most people in the movie industry, they tell you, well, growing up I wanted to be a doctor. I studied I went to study law. I did all that. So for you, how was it like, now becoming a filmmaker?
So when I was growing up, it's weird, and it just came to me now. Like when I was growing up, I wanted to be a mechanical engineer. You see, I have this.
Mecha.
Yeah. So I have this weird. My wife always tells me all the time. Like she says, I have a problem. So if anything spoils, I'm fixated on it, and I have to fix it.
Wow.
Like I must either go on Google. So like that thing must be fixed by force by fire. So and when I was younger, I used to be very interested in how things work and all that stuff. So that's what I wanted to do.
Wow.
When I was growing up, but unfortunately my head couldn't carry it. I told you, I said I don't like maths. I don't like auditions. I don't like solving problems. It's not my business. I can't. So, but I started falling in love with animation, and I wanted to be an animator.
Whoa.
Yeah. But somewhere down the line in university, and I used to draw a lot of comics, but I actually now started saying, you know what, I want to see these things live action. So I had told myself, okay, I wanted to become a filmmaker. So I went to school to study theater arts, even if it has nothing. Well, it does, but to some degree. It doesn't have anything with filmmaking in itself. But that was the closest thing that I could study, because they didn't have filmmaking or whatever in any of the schools. So I did that, and I think in my year 3, I shot my first short film, which is on Facebook, which I would please don't go and look for it.
I have to go and search for it. I'll bring it and tag you on Instagram.
It's hidden very far, but anyway, so I did that, and I was like, oh, I could, this is it.
I do this.
And then, I went to film school, came back, shot my first film, and I started doing other stuff, and yes, we are here today. So it was just, the minute I grasped onto it, I just said, I'm just going to keep making stuff. So, yeah.
So how has been the journey? I mean, for you, has it been tasking? Has it been really demanding, or it has been fun all the way?
So no, it hasn't been fun. Like when I first made my first film, I imagined that, when I said I was going to make it or start the industry, I was going to be a big time director working on the red campus. I would have built it. I had just gotten married and my wife was working. She was working this job, paying her shopping her. So change. And then we're managing with the money. And I remember sometimes my wife would be crying to me, "I'm living on top of it." Yeah.
I hope she's watching.
I think she is. So and I at that time I actually in 2014 I actually wanted to give up, to say this film thing is not working for me. But somehow I think I kind of changed my perspective to say, you know what, okay, maybe this filmmaking thing isn't working for me like that. I mean, I'll still be in this career path, but let me go and work for somebody else as a producer, as opposed to being a director on my own and trying to get an award and all that. So a friend of mine who was doing a TV show, Aki Osakiodoa, we were kind of like family friends, like my brother, not blood brother, but my brother. So he was like, "Oh, James, I'm doing this show, you know, how far? Come and produce the show. I was like, yeah, I'll do it. So we started. I started working with him 2014 December, and I remember that the day, you know, because I mean these shows are like project by project basis. So I remember when I joined, you know, he paid me because the company hadn't paid them, but we were shooting. But then they eventually paid them, so he paid me like 3 months' salary at once.
Wow.
I was on Ikoyi Link Bridge when I stopped the car and I was shouting because that's the largest amount of money I've ever received in my life. And some people thought I was mad.
You just come out of the car and shout, woo!
Yeah,
I made it.
And then just working for TV was a bit more comfortable because you know I was getting paid. You know, I was enjoying. You know, just doing the things that I love doing, but now I'm getting paid. Then I became an executive producer, and then that became a different story entirely. So from 2015 it became fun, but not fun because even doing TV shows, it's not like, oh, you're skipping la di da di da. It's hectic. It's a lot.
It's a lot.
Yeah. Do I enjoy doing it? Of course I do.
Yes, it's obvious you certainly enjoy doing it.
Yeah.
For me as a person, I know that for you to do all these things you do, there is a motivation. There is something that keeps you going. There's something that pushes you, like, girl, God, you couldn't give up. You know, like you said, like there was a point you were so frustrated and you're like, 5 million, and then you cashed out 400,000.
Yeah.
Whoa. Let's not even talk about that because it's heartbreaking. I'm feeling it for you right now, but I'm sure you're reaping that already.
Well, yeah, I guess.
No, not fully. I get it. Okay, so let's talk about your motivation. What pushes you?
Hunger.
Wow, that's funny, but that's really funny. But yes.
So I have a friend of mine
There's a
who
sense
always
in that.
says, we have a thing, stay puffed. That's stay puffed. That's stay hungry. Because hunger is a great motivation. Because when I feel like when, and hunger can be symbolic. It doesn't mean like necessarily like hungry. But if you're not, and it could be hunger for innovation, hunger to do better. And but if you don't stay hungry, there's no way that you would excel. There's no way you will innovate. There's no way you will just be in the same place. And you know, when you're receiving millions of dollars, you're just like, yeah, I'm okay. And
I'm okay. Yeah, receiving
the funny thing, what happens is you're just going to be in one level while other people are just growing above you and moving on. If you look at so I'll give you an example. If you look at most of these foreign companies, like why do Samsung or Apple, why do they keep creating new phones every other day? Yes, they create it because they want you to keep spending your money, but it's innovation. And the fact that they want you to keep spending your money, it means they're hungry. Somebody needs to keep paying somebody's bills, so they need to keep making money. Money is the driver of everything. So they have a team of people at the R&D department, so they're always creating new stuff. Oh, there's a new iPhone. This iPhone, if you sneeze inside, it's turned to a beast. Bah, go and buy it. Boom. Do you understand what I mean? So hunger is a great motivation for me because I'm hungry to do more. I'm hungry to, you know, set my content apart, create a niche for myself, and, you know, create a community, have a fan base, and keep telling African stories as I grow older and older and older. And it's my hunger to do that keeps making me want to do the things that I do over and over and over again.
I seriously like that. I mean, that word hunger, the moment you explained it, I think I now get the idea of hunger.
Yeah.
Now you're hungry to fulfill purpose.
Yeah.
Hungry to not necessarily money, but to do something innovative. That's a very good illustration, a good word to use.
Thank you.
Now
I went to school. I go school.
Don't let me say that. So now let's talk about the fact that Nollywood is Nollywood.
Yeah.
We're doing good. Quite alright. I was in the cinema yesterday. Okay. I was just trying to be fair.
Okay.
So I was in the cinema yesterday and there were this I saw this like four friends. They wanted to see a movie and I was trying to recommend a movie for them and they were like, Yoruba movie, I'm not watching.
Okay.
The Bass Boss,
Yeah.
I was there with a Yoruba actor, a known one at that.
Okay.
So the Bass Boss we both collected. I was so embarrassed, but we had to, just cope. So I was just like, okay, you guys can go. And then she came back. They were looking for a particular movie, but she was like, Nigerian movie, I'm not watching. I'm like, I can't spend my money to watch it. I don't want to know that movie. I don't want to know the producer, the director, the actors, but I don't want to see the movie. finally were able to convince them to see the movie, and after, okay, they were really glad that they saw the movie. But now the question is, do you think there will ever come a time, do you think that there will ever be that time that we, you know, Nollywood, would be able to compete with Hollywood? Would that time ever come?
Of course, it will come. It's so. Let me just using your example. If so, again, most of the things I'm going to be saying will be from a business point of view because again, everybody wants to be a filmmaker. Nobody wants to be. Nobody wants to be in showbiz. It's two different things, right? So if you think about it, like let's look at. I'll give you an example. Puff Puff, right? On a good day, some people can be forming like, oh, they'll never eat puff puff in their life. I can't, right? But you go to the wedding and you eat small chops because it's packaged differently. So there's puff puff inside, samosa, all those things, but you eat it. So in your mind now, puff puff is like, do you understand? Small chops is what you call it. You've even given it another name. I want small chops. There's puff puff. But you see it's in the packaging, and people always forget that, you know, what you're making is a product. Now the question is, how much effort are you willing into putting? How much effort are you willing to put into that product? For instance, why would you buy a Samsung over a Techno? Why would you buy an iPhone over a Techno? You buy an iPhone over a Techno because you feel like the people who made the iPhone have put more effort into making that product, and they've added all their razzmatazz and whatnot to make it look sleek and all that. Whereas Techno, even though the guys who are making these phones now, they're beginning to, you know, up it, but you've always seen it as second class. So that's why when somebody says, oh, I have a Techno phone, even shame could catch you. It used to be like that for Huawei. There's a company called Huawei.
Yeah, yes,
like that. But now they've started making good phones, so yeah, I'm no longer ashamed. So the question is, when will we stop being ashamed to say I want to go and watch a Nigerian movie? And the likes of, you know, these movies that are coming out now on Netflix and whatnot. Now everybody's shouting things like, oh, King of Boys, you know. The parliament, somebody's saying King of Boys. Now it's fun, like, you know, I went to watch King of Boys. But before, it wasn't like that. Do you get my point? And we're getting there because people are now beginning to take their time to actually sit down and concentrate and make those films and make them up to that standard. Very soon, in a couple of years, we will be able to compete. It will happen. And people will they will want to you know, associate themselves with Nigerian films. It's like what's happening with the music industry. Like I don't know how old you guys. I'm old, I'm quite old, but yeah. Like those days in like years ago, nobody wanted to associate themselves with Nigerian music. Like if you're singing, in fact, if you're an artist, you're an artist, you want to go on or to do any music, it's like you're rapping or you're blowing for but now everybody is saying they're killing them shy. Even white people are dancing to the song. Do you understand? Because now the diaspora is accepting our stuff. It's the same way, and that's what's happening for Nollywood. Because if you think about it, somebody told me something, and I'll throw the question out there. Like, this was way back in 2015 or 2016, I can't remember. And this is a question for you. I don't know what the data is now. Who do you think is the highest consumer of Nollywood content in the world? As at 2015, 2016, who do you think was the highest consumer of Nollywood content?
I would say Nigerians.
Okay, cool. Saudi Arabia.
Whoa.
Yeah. See?
Well, I'm impressed.
So we're getting there. So in a couple of years, when you realize that the diaspora is hungry for whatever, next time you go to the cinema, that your friend, they won't watch another thing but Nigerian.
They would. Yeah. They would watch Nigerian films. Wow. We have people like you in the movie industry, so certainly it would get better.
Yeah.
It would definitely get better.
I'm one of the people. I'm not that great, oh.
Yeah. You know, see, great people. I'm not that great. Scam. Jump in the studio. He's dropping money for us before we're in the studio. He's paying for his debt. Oh, now let's talk about how you learned the hard way. So, as a filmmaker, have you learned the hard way? So to say, you know, I know an example is you 5 million and you did.
Yeah. So I learn the hard way all the time. So again, one of the things that I've learned is looking at, and that's why I said it's show business. One of the things I've learned is looking at the industry and asking myself, is it a viable, at that time, was it a viable investment pool? So when I first made my film, I had big dreams, ambitions. I was saying things like, oh, if I do my stuff in the cinema and there are 200 seats, everybody's going to come inside those 200 seats and buy tickets, and
I'll make my money.
And I'm going to be a millionaire. It didn't happen like that. Like for 3 years, I was owing people money. So even if I went on vacation, I couldn't post on Facebook because...
Oh, what me that?
Yeah, somebody's just going to be like, you enjoy yourself.
Yeah, you're not paying my money.
So, but... and that's one of the reasons why I went into TV, because I felt like, you know what, TV is less of a risk because they're paying you to make content. Yeah, I really don't care like what happens after, like how they sell the thing, how they do it. It's
That's
really
none
not
of my business.
Now they're paying me to do the work, I'm doing it, and that's it. And it was a good opportunity for me to grow and make money and do all that stuff. Now we're looking back at the industry to say, okay, is it now still a viable business opportunity? Because I do want to make a film, and I'm looking at it and I'm like, okay, is the environment ready? To be honest, it's not ready because we still don't have that end-to-end value chain, ecosystem going on. However, there are people like the streaming services who are coming, who are able to kind of like put a stopgap and create some sort of ecosystem. So, for instance, if you made a film and you license it, or you let Netflix or Amazon or HBO or whoever these guys, if they acquire it, then you're very sure to make some of your money back. So did I learn a lesson out of all these 12 years of doing this thing? Yes, I did. So now I'm looking at it, I'm like, okay, now if I want to go and meet somebody and say, give me 50 million naira to make a movie, I can confidently make the film, make my money, go on holiday, and nobody's going to disturb me and say I'm winning them money.
So now you're saying that movie making is a profitable business. So I should I should borrow money, collect loan from that.
Movie making is not. So, and this is me being, and again, I always like it when I say things like this because I'm very controversial in my statements. And when I say, people are like, oh no. Here's the truth. Movie making is not a profitable business. It's a profitable business for some people if you know what to do, how to do it, and if the legwork is what's it called? If you can stand the legwork. It's not like crypto where anybody that enters is making money. It doesn't work like that. Because I bet you every filmmaker never always makes money on his first film. Like the percentage of you making money is I don't know. The ratio of you making money is probably like 100 to 1 on your first film. I'm guessing. Do you guess? Unless somebody's really holding your hand who has already experienced it and is like, oh yeah, you have potential. Come, let's do it like this. But no.
Amazing. Thank you so much. I hope you're learning in case you think that you've made one age.
But it's not all gloom and doom because every time I say this, to make money is there. It exists. You can make money. But you can make money, but it's not a profitable venture. It's not like, oh, everybody go into it. It's not, this is the new Bitcoin. Let's go and make films and we're going to make money. No, it's not like that.
Wow, thank you so much. So now let's talk about where you wish and hope to be in, say, 5 years to come. We already know that Nollywood is going to be there in a few years to come. But for you, where would you like to be in a few years to come?
So, at some point, my goal is to it's a long thing. So my goal is to expand my community. So let me tell you what I mean by community. I have a community of crew members that work with me, and not just working with me. There are also people who look up to me and they want advice and all that stuff. So my goal is to expand that community by training people, having conversations with people, giving them jobs, and like expanding my team. So it's like becoming a full-fledged company. So it's not just that, we're trying to do a project, give it to James. No, we're trying to do a project, give it to Fimo. Or Fimo has 20 things they're doing, and we spread it across all our producers, and this is what we're doing, right? Eventually, we'll have a studio, TV station, all that stuff. This is like 7, 8, 9 years down the line.
Wow.
So that I become significant, and the company now becomes as significant as it should be. So we become a Disney, HBO, NTA, whatever.
Wow, so big, and I look forward to that. I can't wait. I'll just go back to this interview and be like, yeah, I remember when he was talking about, I was there.
Yes.
I'll be All right, so now let's talk about actors.
Yeah.
Do we have actors that are talented?
Oh, of course. I'm not even going to lie. There are some people that, so we now have very formidable actors who can bring our stories to life. I've met many of them. I'm friends with lots of them. Like, there are people who, when they perform today, are like, oh my gosh. So in terms of acting, I don't think we are lacking in that. We have it. And there's also an opportunity for people to learn. There's also an opportunity because there are a lot of acting schools. You have so many of them, and there's a lot of opportunities for people to take their current skills and upgrade. So we do have, we have them.
We have a lot of them.
Yes, they're there.
Okay, so now I asked that question because I want to take us back to the olden days and now.
Okay.
Now we have actors that are they're now old. They can't really do all those things that they do back in the days when they were in Shango Day. So comparing it to the then Nollywood, do you think we now have better actors compared to the actors we used to have back then who are now old?
Yeah. One thing I'll always do is respect those guys who were doing it, back in the day. Those guys were very seasoned professionals. They were ahead of their time. And there's so many of them that are even still doing it today. I was talking about them, people like them, RMD, Hilda Dokubo. There's so many people like that. And you have to give it to them. You see, but the thing with acting is once you're good, you're 100%. So everybody is 100%, to be honest. You're good at your craft, you're good at your craft. The end of the day, there's something they taught us in school, which is if I'm able to suspend my disbelief and feel like I'm actually watching a film or I'm partaking in the life of somebody that's on screen, then you've done a great job. So the guys who are doing it now are doing it 100%. The guys who were doing it before, they did it 100% and they're still doing it 100%.
So there is no one lagging behind, so to say.
No.
Who are your favorite directors?
Hey, Jesus.
Yep, I knew I was going to put him on the spot. Finally, he's on the spot.
My gosh. My gosh.
Yes, you tell us.
Okay, so this is a weird one. I haven't necessarily worked with a lot of people, and I can't. So let me.
Don't play that tricky game now.
Let me explain. I'm not going to. I can't base your skill based off of what I just see. Is because as a director, you're also a leader. I want to base your skill off of you being on set and actually communicating with your actors and working with your team, depending on if you're if you're what's the word I'm talking about? If you're hands-on, right? Some of the guys that I've worked with who have worked on some of my productions, people like Kaide Kasum, George Sunam, and these are people that do TV stuff, who I know are very delicate when they're trying to help the actors interpret their roles and trying to put the scene together. These are people who have worked on some of my own shows. But in terms of work that I've seen on TV, Nigerian stuff, and these are just Nigerian directors I'm talking about. I respect Tosin Igo, I respect Kunle Afolayan. And for some reason, and not that when I say some reason, it's not a bad thing, I respect Kemi Adetiba because of the audacity that she has.
This is the audacity for you.
Yeah, that's it. The audacity that she has to pull off some of the things that she's pulling off. That's the one reason why I respect her. I respect Kunle because, I've been following Kunle since, I didn't watch Irapada, but I watched, what's it called?
19 something.
No. Damn, I can James. Figurine.
Okay, yeah, figurine.
But mainly because I'm in TV, most of the guys who I mentioned earlier are people who I've actually been there, that I've seen, working. There's some new guys coming up, like Gia Hamisi, he works, for me. There's Blackie. This is some of the guys that I know that I've seen them work with directors and work with actors, and they're setting up scenes, and I'm watching them, and they're having these very patient conversations.
Wow, amazing. So for you as a producer, how hard is it bringing together the team that makes a good movie?
It's hard
the
actors. It's hard.
Especially these big actors, they can be very...
So here's the thing. Like I said, I haven't, all my life, I've actually worked for myself. I haven't necessarily, except when I produced for ICANN, it was a TV show, it was a television late night show, it wasn't a film production. So I don't have experience working with other people and trying to put these things together. I do things my way. And it's really not that difficult. And I like to have conversations with people. And the truth is, no matter how big you think you are or how you've been in the industry or what you've achieved, I'm your boss. That's the end of the story.
Forget it. So, if you don't get it, forget about it.
So, and that's it. And I always like to have conversations with people. So for me, because I'm very concerned about the outlook of my production, my team is very important. So I first talk to heads of department. So my production designer, who deals with makeup, costumes, set design, props, all that stuff. and we always have conversations around skill and either skill, leadership qualities, and just your regular day-to-day human interaction. Because it's one thing to have the skill, it's another thing to be an a-hole. Forgive my English. And then with actors, in as much as we want the best and we want, those for marketing purposes, I want this person, it's always good to have a conversation to say, look, let me know, what's your schedule like? Like, what do you not like? What do you, and look, this is who we are, this is what it is, so that tomorrow when the issues, we're not fighting. Because at the end of the day, like I said, I'm your boss, and you're not, we're both doing each other a favor, because you're doing me a favor.
I'm doing you a favor.
Yeah, you're doing me a favor by being on my show. I'm also doing a favor by paying you a salary. Do you understand? If you didn't need the salary, then you wouldn't be here. Apart from that, the project that we're working on is also going to, obviously, would be a great project, and having you on board would be one of the best things that will happen to this project. But it's notwithstanding, the project is still going to be great. So it's a symbiotic relationship. So you can't now come on set and be telling me, no, I don't have time. Call time is 4 o'clock. You have
I'll be here 10.
No.
If you can't.
We don't work. I don't work that way. It's either you're professional or you're not. So it's tough selecting those people. But we've done it for a while. We've done it over time, and then we're very careful in how we select. And we always let people know that this is the culture that we have on set. So behave yourself. Or we get kicked out.
Amazing. Oh wow. To think that I wasn't even looking at my time, because I have lots of questions to ask him, and my time is fast spent. Goodness.
Yeah.
So I am actually publicly announcing that we hope that some other time we'll get to call you so we can talk more, because
I'll come.
we have a lot.
I won't.
You won't I won't have to pay for flight.
I can't come. I won't do that.
So, very quick, we have a game. We would have to play the game before we go. But before we call it a day, what is your advice to somebody like me or somebody like him who wants to go into the movie industry, but we are scared of, hey, and somebody who's coming to the industry with the mindset of, I want to blow?
Yeah, first of all, kill that mindset of you want to blow. Like, that I want to blow is like, I used to say it's the Nigerian dream. Everybody, I want to blow. You want to blow what? I bomb. Like, calm down. But if you want to get into the industry, first things you have to think about is you have to be very committed. You have to be committed in the work that you want to do, because people always forget the place of skill. You have to keep training yourself and get better over time, because that's the key, first of all, into getting into the industry. Secondly, you have to find either a mentor or somebody who you can look up to, and not necessarily follow around, but just okay, this person's work ethic I respect, and I want to follow this person's work ethic, and then be on every set, like hey, who's shooting today? I can do this for you, and that's how you bond with people who always refer you to other jobs. I'm referring it, you're going into the ranks, and then 3-4 years down the line, you're a producer.
Great, amazing.
Or director, or whatever.
For me, this is a take home. I'm keeping it here, so I don't need today. So the game, very quick, is a very interesting one, alright? It's a tongue twister, and you're going to say these words very fast, 5 times. If you miss it, you're paying a fine of 100,000 naira. That is going into my personal account. So you're going to say, the sun shall shine.
Yeah, pay me money. Please, pay me money.
That's why it's my game. The sun shall soon shine. The sun shall soon shine.
The sun shall soon shine.
5 times very fast. You may say,
the sun shall soon shine. 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 Boss moves!
Whoa! That was amazing. I wasn't. My guy was telling me that he would never get.
Who's best?
When you're going to come you're paying a fine of 100,000 naira.
I wanna get it done.
Wow, it has been amazing, and we hope to bring him some other time so we can, have this kind of fun and as well learn and get inspired. So this morning I'll say special thanks, many thanks for tuning in. Thank you so much for joining us on the Spotlight Show.
Appreciate.
And of course, special